Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, July 9th. Low pressure now over the Outer Banks region of North Carolina will push out to the northeast, out over the open waters of the western Atlantic later today. That could allow for enough intensification for it to become a named tropical system. In this case, it would be named Faye. So again, there's a potential for this low pressure area that will bring some heavy rain to the eastern mid-Atlantic region on Friday could become a tropical storm later today or tonight as it pushes over the warm waters of the western Atlantic. Then it'll kind of take a turn more to the north and ride up the mid-Atlantic coastline, probably located in the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula early tomorrow morning, and then pushing pretty much due north into interior New York State by Friday night and early Saturday. The threat for heavy rain certainly exists in places like the Delmarva Peninsula, eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City. DC metro region could be on the very southwestern edge of the heaviest rainfall, certainly on the east side of the DC metro region. Anne Arundel County, for example, there could be some heavier rainfall, and east of there over the Delmarva Peninsula, very good chance of some heavy rainfall. Still a close call for the DC metro region. We'll see what happens later on today and tonight. But again, heavy rain is on the table for Friday into Friday night for the eastern part of the Mid-Atlantic region. There will be gusty winds as well, but rain will probably be the biggest factor, certainly inland as compared with the winds. There will be strong rip currents as well to develop in the ocean later tomorrow, and that could stick around right into the upcoming weekend. Let's start off with the latest infrared satellite imagery loop from the College of DuPage weather website. Two things I want to point out. First of all, there is a little bit of a circulation that one can see here in this satellite loop right in this region right here, and that is where the surface low pressure currently exists. Notice a lot of the action, a lot of the thunderstorm activities on the eastern side of that circulation center. They very well could become more and more symmetrical, more and more aligned with each other over the next several hours. I expect the circulation center to jump over to the north and east out over the open waters of the western Atlantic, and this could allow it to intensify, and again, there's a chance it could become a tropical storm, a Faye, by later today or tonight. But all kinds of moisture sitting right off the coast, a little bit displaced right now from the circulation center, but again, they could become more aligned over the next several hours. And even though it looks like maybe it's moving to the north and east, it actually will for a few hours, but then turn more to the north. And it's this region right here in here, the Delmarva Peninsula, eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City. They very well could get in on some of the heavy rainfall during the day on Friday. Again, the DC metro region, maybe just to the south and west of that heaviest threat zone for the significant rainfall. Again, we mentioned this yesterday, the grounds are very well saturated, a good part of the Mid-Atlantic region, so of course any heavy rainfall on Friday and Friday night could produce some flash flooding conditions. Well, here's the latest look of the positioning of this low pressure area by the National Hurricane Center. They are based in Miami, and again, it's right over the southern part of the Outer Banks of North Carolina, maybe the southeastern part of North Carolina right now, and it should move out over the open waters during the next several hours, possibly allowing for enough intensification for it to become a named tropical system. But whether or not it actually ends up as a named tropical storm, it will very likely produce some heavy rainfall tomorrow in the Delmarva, in eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all the way up into New York City. It will start to push northeast, and then it will take more of a turn to the north and probably be located right in the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula by early Friday. And from that position right in here on Friday morning, it's liable to push due north right into the interior part of New York State, sending some significant rainfall up in that area late Friday night into Saturday morning. And once that scoots away here on Saturday. It's not the end of the wet weather pattern for the eastern U.S. It'll be kind of a impressive upper level trough that builds into the eastern U.S. by the early part of next week. So certainly there will be a threat of showers and thunderstorms in much of the eastern third of the nation on Monday, Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday of next week. And then beyond that, the second half of next week very well could get quite hot in the northeastern part of the nation, the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, that's the second half of next week. Well, I want to show NOAA's prediction for the total rainfall amounts as it stands right now for this upcoming event. I believe it has a pretty good handle on the situation. Of course, we'll see what happens later on today and tonight. It could intensify more than expected out over the open waters of the western Atlantic, and that could allow for a little bit of a westward expansion of the rainfall zone here. But the heaviest rainfall right now looks like it'll be across eastern Pennsylvania, the Delmarva Peninsula, and New Jersey, all the way up into New York City. DC metro region will get some rainfall, probably just to the south and west of the zone of the heaviest rainfall, but still a close call. Even as close as Anne Arundel County may get some significant rain, and certainly just to the east of there, the Delmarva Peninsula. We'll see how things evolve later on today. But here's the area of most concern for the heaviest rainfall, right in this zone right here. And there will be some gusty winds, but again, I think rainfall will be the biggest factor from what could become Tropical Storm Faye. Well, let's wrap up by looking at the surface forecast maps from last night's 6Z operational run of the GFS. Again, low pressure is located over the eastern side of North Carolina, with the heaviest rainfall right now just to the east of the circulation center. This low pressure area looks like it'll move a little bit to the north and east over the next several hours, mostly out over, if not completely out over the open waters of the warm West Atlantic, and that could allow for intensification. Let's push forward here. Notice kind of jumps to the north and east and intensifies a little bit. At this particular time, early this evening, it's just off the east coast, out over the water, and probably intensifying enough to become a tropical storm, in this case Faye, later today, early tonight. And after that northeast push, it kind of will then turn more into a northerly direction, reaching the Delmarva Peninsula by early tomorrow morning, it looks like, and then basically due north from that point on. Could be some heavy rainfall over the Delmarva, over New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, into New York City and interior New York as it rides up to the north. And here we go by late tomorrow night, early Saturday morning in the central part of New York State, with some heavy rainfall in that area as well. Notice some showers on the backside of this thing, and certainly can result in some showers and thunderstorms lingering into Saturday in the Mid-Atlantic region. There goes the remains of what could become Tropical Storm Faye. Notice this other area of moisture out over the Great Lakes region. That is associated with a deep upper level low that slides it into the eastern U.S. at the end of the upcoming week. And Sunday itself could end up being generally a rain-free day in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, but then be unsettled weather pattern as we evolve into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as an upper level trough develops in the eastern U.S. So a chance of showers and thunderstorms once again Monday, Tuesday, possibly as late as Wednesday of next week in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the northeast U.S. Then, again, it could become quite hot during the second half of next week throughout the Great Lakes, northeast U.S., and the Mid-Atlantic region. But a lot to go through before we get to that point in time. All eyes today will be on what could become Tropical Storm Faye. Again, some heavy rainfall tomorrow in the eastern Mid-Atlantic region, along with some gusty winds, and strong rip currents should develop in the ocean later tomorrow, and that could stick around into the upcoming weekend. So that's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Orion.